Hey there, everyone. How are you all doing today? I am the Perpetual Noob, and we are back
Ranged attack
from a
southwest.
very long extended hiatus. To all my viewers who do celebrate Christmas, I wanted to say Merry Christmas to you. To all my other viewers, I do hope that the last couple of weeks, geez, it's been even longer than that, maybe even 3 weeks, have treated you all well. If you've been following me on Twitter, you'll know that I was on the great family holiday trip. 11 days, technically 6 different locations. Uh, and very little, if any, internet to boot. Actually, the only reason why I was able to tweet about it at all is thanks to my phone and thanks to 4G cell signal, which even then was a little spotty in some locations. But anyways, let's get back to what's happening on screen. We are back with another episode of my Dragon's Dogma playthrough. To everyone who has been following this, I apologize for last episode because I essentially blue-balled you all as I finished the Sir Mercedes quest, Pride Before the Fall. Or was it a fall? Ah, English. Anyways, then we started to move on towards the Wyrmking's Ring quest, and then I ended the episode actually a little bit in the middle of that. But that's kind of because I don't actually get to that quest right away. As you can see, I'm just kind of running through the fields,
Seems
trying to
fairly
kill some more
shallow.
bunnies and do everything else that I can just think of because I'm easily distracted in an open world game. Semi-open world. It's not completely open,
Feels
but
like
you
a
know what I
village.
mean. So anyways, this is uh this is going to be a bit of a free-form post commentary. I haven't actually pre-watched this
They
video
breed like rabbits, I
like I have
suppose.
with any of the other previous Dragon's Dogma videos that I've put up. So we'll see how this ends up going. I'm actually, because I'm really more interested in kind of talking about the last,
Faster!
the last couple of weeks. I mean, honestly, I've been
Nothing to see
gone
here.
from home for, you know, like, I don't know. I'd say a total of 11 days. Did only just get back today, and it was quite an quite a crazy time. Did over over 1,000 miles round trip, which that's a lot of driving.
Just a bit
I'm
further.
sure actually some of you have had similar holiday travels and holiday trips. You probably have family in several locations. I know my family is kind of all over the place, as evidenced by this trip. My uh, my my parents are divorced, have been for my entire life, essentially. That we won't get into any of that, but now to split the family even further, my dad and stepmother are now going through a divorce. So we're just adding houses, and I mean, thankfully, I still have a great relationship with my stepmother. So I was, wanted to go visit, and so this trip I saw a lot of family, got to see all of my siblings, all 5 of them. But again, remember, before you start freaking out, thinking, "Holy cow, that's so many siblings." Well, one, it is, but two, it's across 2 families, so it's fine. You know, just 2 brothers on both my mom and my dad's side, and then a sister on my dad's side. But it was so I got to see all of them, and kind of staggered though. Saw a couple of siblings um, at the second location, because first location I went to my dad's, and that was about 20 hours. Quick little trip. Had essentially enough time to have dinner with him, stay over, and then move on to the next house. Moved on to my stepmother's place. Got to see, oh god, fat zombies. Little scary. Zombies are weak to fire, but these zombies just explode when you set them on fire. Yeah, see, there he goes. About to blow up. Don't want to be near him when that happens. Anyways, moved on to, see, killed that zombie without fire, and he didn't explode or hurt any of us.
There's no way we could have lost to that.
Moving on to the to our second location was my stepmother's. Got to see one brother and my sister there. Actually had, oh my god, this whole trip was so much food. I've easily gained 5+ pounds of actual, like, going to have to hit the gym hard, work this off weight just in these last like 10, 11 days. Ugh. So it was my sister's birthday, and we were actually over her at a family friend's house to celebrate, and they had this huge feast. Um, very, very Italian family, and they had the Feast of Seven Fish, and whew. Oh, right. This was a bit of a special fight. I mean, look, there's actual dialogue here. So I don't know if this was a part of the nameless terror quest, or if this was just due to where I was, and then I got whee. God, I love that move because it kicks guys so far up in the air. Oh right, the Feast of the Seven Fish. Oh my gosh, so much food, but it was just so delicious. I mean, there was, geez, what was there even to start with? There was like raw oysters, mussels. They're probably different, aren't they? People were calling them mussels, so I'll just call them mussels then. But they were raw, and you know, all they were doing was putting a little bit of lemon. First time I ever tried these, actually. They put a little bit of lemon, and then you were supposed to shoot them, you know, like you would a shot of tequila or something.
Treasure, perhaps?
That that didn't work for me. I'm not. That's not my thing. So I just ate it. But whatever, it was fine. But that was just one of the appetizers. There was another one that was like crab meat and melted cheese on like an English muffin kind of thing. So that was delicious, and I had way too much of that. Let's see. We're still in the appetizer phase. What else do we have to do? Oh, look at that! A quest.
This passage
Hello.
south and central
As you cannot
premises.
tell from the look of me, I'm at my
I
wit's
don't
end.
remember what
I've
quest
needed
this
to travel
guy
south through this mine,
gave
but
me.
the accursed gate won't budge.
Oh, right.
Despite the dangers,
And of course, because this guy
this
gave
way
me
I've
a
been
random
shot
quest,
in my
and I
journey.
randomly found him,
So
I'm
short
going to
cut,
just
eh?
have to do this
Which is
quest.
a fine waste of time if the
Ugh.
gate's not below it.
I get so easily distracted in RPGs,
Wait, you'll see it open?
especially ones that
Twould be a
don't
most
have
welcome boon.
a strict quest
But are you
structure,
so certain you can make
like
it
Dragon's
so?
Dogma.
You do seem a strong enough
Oh,
sort
and of
for it.
course, as I'm getting easily distracted by the gameplay, I'm getting easily distracted from the stories I'm trying to tell of my time
There are ogres in
away
these caves.
from
Bring
away
plenty
from
of
all of
carriages.
you and away from the internet, as it were. I mean, I wasn't completely away from the internet, obviously, as I had access to Twitter and I had a smartphone, but you know, data plans now being limited and stuff like that, you can't just spend all day on your smartphone without, you know, eventually blowing your data plan, and that's a real pain in the ass
'Tis a
and a
sorcerer we face.
boatload of money.
We must be ready for anything.
So in any case, moved on. Woo! Trophy! Oh yeah, that's something else. I've actually not, at least by this point, I hadn't checked trophies. Because trophies can some of the trophies can give away story stuff, and I really didn't want to give away story stuff. Ooh, cutscene. All right, I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet.
Well, well. The Arisen. Toast of all grand Sorin. Does the work of all mankind, Savior, truly afford the time to go hunting petty thieves? If you insist on a game of cat and mouse, what say we see which role you'll fill?
All right. Super bad guy, and I'm thinking, holy crap, this is gonna be tough. You know, some guy who's sounding all, mean and menacing, and hey, where'd all your health go, buddy? Now this was annoying. I was, since I was fresh off of Sir Mercedes quest, where there were guys that weren't, they could be taken down to no health but not die. I was starting to think, wait, am I not supposed to kill this guy? How do I beat him? This is really annoying. Then I noticed that there were some other guys still around and thought, you know what? Let's kill. Whoops. That range. So I was thinking, alright, let's kill every other guy. And then maybe this will kill him? No, it didn't. So I just had to chase him around and wait for the game to catch up to the fact that I was smashing his face in. Oh wait, more guys. Okay, never mind. Maybe that really was what it was. Oh, look at that. Salomet. Hey wait, that's that guy I was supposed to be looking for. Well, it was kind of handy of the game to give me 2 quests, kind of in the same, or send me off in the same location as another quest. That was kind of handy. And man, for a guy that they're, for a guy, this is kind of another spot where I realized I may be a little overpowered at this point. Because every other NPC was like, oh, Salamat, he is a giant and powerful wizard. And I think I took him to 0 health in 2 hits? Maybe 3?
Shall we return to
And sure, obviously, since they did the villain just escapes on his own, type thing. Clearly this wasn't supposed to be the major fight. But I still kicked him in the teeth, like, twice, and that was it. Not much of a challenge for an NPC enemy that was touted by all the other NPCs as the great and powerful wizard. Oh, anyways, right. Feast of the 7 Fish. Or maybe it's just Feast of 7 Fishes. Either way, really fun time. Let's see, I've only gone through the... Geez, I've only gone through the appetizers. There was also... Oh, right, not exactly fish related, but somebody brought a delicious brie. A baked brie. Actually, I'm not a huge fan of soft cheeses. I had a bit of a bad time out in France once. That was on a business trip, and soft cheeses. Even after eating the brie at
I'll take that.
this party, I still don't quite understand, because really it just oh. But at this party, yeah, look at that. I'm getting distracted again, but look at that. Game sits there and says, hey, look, there's an open space behind here. But it seems you can't get through it. I mean, it's kind of like what other games will do when they say, oh, this door is locked. And then you get far enough through a quest or part of the story, and magically that door is no longer locked. It's the same thing here with Dragon's Dogma. They just happen to do it in a... It seems like a really ham-handed way to do it. Here's this giant rock formation blocking the door. And then you're gonna get far enough into the game, and magically it won't be there anymore. It's almost like world tendency events in Demon's Souls. Or, all of a sudden in pure white tendency in the Tower of Latria, this plank appears to span the gap. Why does this plank appear to span the gap between, you know, here and there, impure white world tendency. No reason. It just does. Yeah, it's one of those. And so it's kind of on the same level with this Dragon's Dogma kind of maneuver here, where you're still looking at it going, wait, why is this? Why is this like this? Why is there this rock wall right here that I can't get through? Fine. Fine. Whatever. Whatever.
You need but consult your map.
Don't question it, just go with it. So anyways, yeah, I swear I'll get through at least this. Hey, you know, we're gonna be I'm probably gonna have a couple episodes worth of talking about, you know, this family holiday trip. You can actually search for that. Geez, I didn't even tell you. Well, I don't. If you're checking out my videos anyways, you're seeing, you know, in the description I put my Twitter handle, which is actually the same as my YouTube handle, which is Perpetual Noob 3. But anyways, you could also search for the hashtag family holiday trip, which is what I was calling it. I don't know. I was being a little silly with hashtags as I was describing this trip. Got a little crazy. Heck, I think some of my tweets were more hashtags than actual tweets. But yeah, whatever. That happens. In any case, that was so yeah. So Bree and my oh, that's right. This is my first sour ambrosial meat, which then I get to turn into my kept sour ambrosial meat. So I can actually I actually only need 4 more for the geez, I don't remember what quest. I might actually pull up the quest log before this episode is over to check, just because it is the first one I've gotten yet. You know, I like that mighty throw or mighty swing, I think that's what it's called. I like that the game registers the downward swing on that arc as a hit. I mean, you just saw me clobber a guy despite completely missing with every other portion of the attack. But because he brings his sword back down behind him, I still hit the guy. So it was pretty cool. Right. Brie, soft cheeses, right, get into it. So, went on a business trip to France, and I mean, in France, soft cheese, brie, seemingly in particular, it's like miso soup in Japan. It's served with everything. Like, you can get it with your breakfast, you'll get it with your lunch, you'll get it with your dinner. Like, every meal is a brie. Or there is a brie served with it. And I mean, I think the epitome of this, and I wasn't a fan of soft cheese to begin with, so now I'm out in France and every single meal involves brie, and I don't want to be a typical American, so I'm trying to eat everything, and oh, there was one, I think it was a lunch that came with a crackers and cheese, like it was, you know, you got, I think it was like a sandwich, but then, you know, instead of fries, you got crackers and cheese, and this cheese was brie, and the crackers were like standard, you know, table crackers. You know, only like, I don't know, 1.5 inches in diameter or something. But and they were very flat. You know, like a Ritz. Like a Ritz cracker, if if you've seen those. Probably have. I don't like to make assumptions, but possibly. But then there was like 1.5 inch thick slab of brie cheese on the top of this. Like, what? What do you mean? That's there was like 4x the mass of cheese to the cracker. And I mean, you know what, maybe it's because I I'm not a fan of brie, so that is what bothered me. And there's, you know, some of you viewers are like cheese addicts, and so you're hearing me tell this story and just getting all excited and giddy at the idea of having that much cheese on your cracker. But oh my gosh, it was not for me. So, anyways, not a fan of brie. You generally avoid it when I can, but I'm at a party and a guest brought it, and I mean, people were enjoying it, and I said, "Oh, okay, I'll try it again." I'm already trying other things with the mussels and some of the other food that I'll get to in a minute of like what was out there for the feast. And no, it was actually really good. I ended up having that quite a bit. There was some good bread, or I should say like a small baguette. Wait, I'm hearing some roaring in this. What the heck is... Oh, yeah. But I mean that's really cool because you're hearing the roaring and you don't see anything. And yeah, this was cool. Um, kind of a bit of like a almost a bit like a suspense title, but then oh my god, it's an ogre. Shrek, why? Why, Shrek? Okay, and that was really strange that Vesperia makes that comment. Or, well, actually, they're all making that sort of comment. That the ogres come after women first. Just wait. You know, what? What, Capcom? You know, maybe that's part of the real, mythology behind ogres, is that they will attack women first, or they only attack women, or they only hate women. I don't know, but it was just really weird that they're all of a sudden, my teammates are like, hey, he's going to attack all of us first. It was just a weird thing. Now check that out. Do you see that? I love that. My sword's been imbued with ice, and various of my casters are casting ice attacks at it. And do you see that? Do you see its like left, or technically its right arm and its right leg are essentially frozen? How cool is that? I think that's just so cool. It's a really nifty thing. Stupid ogre. Why couldn't you be cute and cuddly like Shrek? And look at that! Another sour ambrosial meat. This was an amazing day. I actually got kind of concerned that I was going to run out of that I was going to find more sour ambrosial meat and not have an airtight flask for it. No, seriously, I was legitimately worried about that. Because it was the first time now I have 2 out of necessary 5, and all of a sudden I'm starting to think that, wait a minute, is there a limited amount of airtight flasks in the entire game? Oh god, if there is, this is going to suck. Oh, anyways, so yeah, had lots of the brie. That was very tasty. Had a lot of the I don't even know what we called it. Unspeakable meat. That doesn't sound dirty. The crab meat with the cheese on the English muffin. That was really delicious. It was almost like a crab meat pizza bagel kind of thing. Hmm. So those were the appetizers, or at least some of them. There were a couple more. But, yeah. So anyways, on to the main courses. Yeah, and I have to say main courses because, yeah, there were several. There was a salad, so it was a healthy meal. Uh, as relatively healthy as a meal can be when, there's just so much food. I mean, honestly, there were like a dozen of us total. Yeah, something like 12, 14 people total at this event, and there were still leftovers. Like the family just made so much food. I mean, which was great. That was fantastic.
On that panel. The floor.
But
Some mechanism missing.
yeah. So salad. Next up was linguine with a white clam sauce and some clam meat tossed in with the linguine. That was actually really tasty. That was some really good stuff. Then there was a similar meal of, oh, thank you Vesperia for actually being the one to tell us, hey, idiots, hey, idiots. And then of course she ends up triggering the switch anyways. Silly pawns and them wanting to complete quests
I've learned what to do with
where
this quest.
all I want to do is
Might
explore
serve as ogre bait.
and dig for gold. Anyways, the next one was, yeah, thanks pawn for also mining another vein. Oh, geez. There was another plate of linguine with a red sauce, and then actually some whole mussels, shells and all, there, and you just kind of, pull the meat out of that and toss it in with the pasta or whatever and eat all that. That was really tasty too. Let's see. Oh, and then there were stuffed mushrooms running around. Well, not being passed around. Those are really tasty. I don't know what they're stuffed with. Probably something fishy. I'm guessing. Because let's see, I'm trying to keep count now of how many fish items we had
This looks
for
interesting.
the food. We had the raw mussels, then we had the crab pizza bagels. That's what I'm calling them now. Crab pizza bagels. Let's see, the linguine with the clam sauce, the linguine with the mussels, or full clams, something like that. So that's 4. Yeah, the mushrooms must have been stuffed with something fishy. I don't know, it was delicious. I had a couple of those, so who cares? I didn't care if it was fish or not. It was tasty. Let's see, and then we went on to then came the stuffed quahogs, which are large clams, essentially. And those were really good. And goodness, I shouldn't have eaten as many of those as I did. But hey, it's a party, and there's delicious wine and a lot of fun conversation, and it's a good time seeing people. Because actually, this particular family, they've been friends of, my dad's side of the family, or for, jeez, 15, 16 years, something crazy like that. Yeah, something like that. Now I'm really thinking about it. But I actually hadn't seen them in probably a decade or so. So it was just on that alone, it was really good to see them uh and catch up with them and see where they all are. Um yeah, good times. Uh so yeah, there was the stuffed quahogs, and now I'm missing. Oh, and then the final piece to the dinner, to the main course portion of the evening, were the stuffed shrimp. So there we go. As long as the stuffed mushrooms were stuffed with something fishy, we're at 7 fish items. All very delicious
We'll wrap them in a single charge.
and all sneaky in that you didn't
There is this way.
you didn't feel overly stuffed until it was way too late. When all of a sudden, you were done eating way too much food, and then you finally rest. You know how it goes. You've eaten, you just keep eating and eating and eating. You don't give your stomach any time to recover. Well, I guess you're all going down there. I might as well jump down with you. Oh, yeah, okay. See, now I'm just learning how this whole place is mapped out. But you keep eating, and you keep eating, and you give your stomach no time to recover, and then you do the foolish thing of stopping. And your stomach finally says, wait a second, what have you done to me? I'm going to explode now. And you have that really uncomfortable feeling as you're sitting in your chair and you lean back and you're just thinking, oh my god, what have I done? You know what? I don't care what I've done. It was totally worth it. And you think about it and you say, yep, if I had to do it again, I totally would. Totes really. Oh, I mean, the food. And by the way, no, what part of a meal have I not mentioned yet? What is nearly everyone's favorite part of a meal that I have not mentioned yet? That's right. Dessert. And I say that, oh, because there was dessert. Oh, look at that! I thought that was so cool. That that the ogre was actually blocking its attacks. Yeah, this Act of Atonement move, kinda stupid. If I'm not using the taunt move as well. Which, why take up 2 slots? You know, just for that, just to use Act of Atonement. You know, so I can taunt everybody, you know, and then maybe Act of Atonement's then really amazing, but why, you know, as a warrior, you've only got 3 skill slots available, so why waste your time on the taunt and I don't know, maybe it's if you want to play it a different way. But I kind of look at it as, I've got a giant sword, I'm kicking ass, and I'm gonna hit really, really hard. You know, I'm gonna bring the deeps. That sounds so weird. Just, I want to have high damage per second here. Look at all these ogres, by the way. I know, I'm remembering that as I was going through all this, and I kept encountering these ogres, I was thinking and hoping that I was going to actually collect all of the sour ambrosial meat that I needed. Look at this. Look at this. I'm trying to use it, and essentially he hits me once. It's such a waste. I know that by the time I get back to town, I believe I get rid of Active Atonement. You know, so I just don't use it again because for the way I want to play this guy, totally pointless. Oh, but I was gonna say earlier that I loved how that the ogre actually blocked or kind of hunkered down and put up its arms in defense. I actually thought that was really cool because then it was taking less damage from me. And that was really nifty. A little bit more of that combat realism that I've been kind of enjoying in this game. Yep, flask of oil time. Let's get that lantern back to full. Whew. Look at that. All back to normal. Can see just fine again. And getting more and more disappointed now as I'm finding only ogre's teeth. And no more sour ambrosial meats. So yeah, now I'm sitting there, stuffed as a pig. But there's still dessert. And my stepmother has made chocolate mousse with chocolate chunks in it.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, how does this make sense? Wooden door. I have a giant sword. I can't break down that wooden door.
Seems it leads outside.
Strongest wood ever. I can't remember what decision I make here. I know right now I know I'm pacing back and forth saying I want to know what's on the other side of that door. But then I was also noticing that the exit essentially was right there. So I'm kind of like, wait, how do I open this door? But of course, using the mini map, I figure it out. Well, eventually I figured it out. Yes. Yep. Couldn't break down that door with my giant sword. Just wasn't possible. So, chocolate mousse with chocolate chunks.
A goblin pack!
Oh my gosh. I couldn't resist. I mean, seriously, how are you supposed to resist that? You know, if you're somebody who doesn't like chocolate, it's very easy to resist something like chocolate mousse with chocolate chunks in it. But if you're a chocoholic, like I am, it's nearly impossible.
Numbers, a weakling is a weakling.
And why would you want to? I mean, you know, I don't have chocolate mousse every day. So, yeah, I want to have some more chocolate mousse. So, so I may have gotten even more stuffed on, chocolate mousse. But again, totally worth it. Oh man, yeah, some reason remembering that food was totally worth it and that being stuffed like a pig was just so good. I was just remembering that I had seen,
Such
for
bounty.
again after so many years, True Lies. I actually watched that the night before at my dad's place. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, find it somewhere. I'm sure it's at your,
Have we
you know,
sufficient
I'm sure you can pick it up at like Best Buy or you can find it on Netflix or Hulu or something. Go see it. Fantastic movie. Because it's not, it barely takes itself seriously, and and it just kind of pokes fun at, well, action movies specifically that are about secret agents, in a sense. So, yeah, go see it. It was great to see it again.
Now this place can see use
Uh,
once again.
it was a fun time. But anyways, so chocolate mousse, yes, being stuffed like a pig, totally worth it. And yeah, that was that. No, I was just thinking that was the end of the night. No, it wasn't, because then, you know, you say your goodbyes and you say your it was great to see ya. You say all that stuff, and then went back home and hung out for another few hours with my family. You know, got to hang out with my sister a little bit more. She was actually we were heading to another location and she was heading to another location the next day. So, I mean, I hadn't seen my sister in 2 years. Yeah, 2 whole years.
Treasure
Ugh,
perhaps.
too long, really. I guess that's kind of how life goes once you once you move out. You know, you move out, you get a real job, and life becomes pretty busy. So it becomes a little tricky
What's that?
to see everyone. You know, especially when the other siblings are also working at a real job,
This looks
you
interesting.
know, and have their own lives. But so it was really good to see. It was really good to see my sister for the short time that we did, and then yeah, we moved on. We moved on to our third location the next day after getting about, I don't know, 5 hours of sleep. Oy, that was that was another thing that we didn't do very well. We didn't sleep very well. You know how it, I mean, I don't know if you've been on, if you've ever been kind of traveling to various locations, you're not sleeping in your own bed anymore. It just feels, it's always a little bit tricky. A little tricky to get used to not sleeping in your own bed, to sleeping in somebody else's bed, especially because you know, you feel a little bit, like you're imposing because, somebody else has made up that bed for you. It's not, it's not your sheets, it's not your room anymore. If it used to be your room before you moved out, it wasn't in this case, but it's not, in some cases, not your pillow even. So it's just different, and it can make it difficult to really get a restful night's sleep. Of course, then it doesn't help when you go to bed at like 2:30 in the morning. You stay up, hanging out with your sister and family until 2:30 in the morning. So you're already exhausted from that because you've already been traveling that day. And so that doesn't help either. But still a good time. And again, like you know, the trip has had its ups and downs, but in reality it was complete I'd say it was completely worth it. You get a oh man, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because the trip isn't even, come on, it was an 11-day trip-ish. Not dangly, I don't know. I call it 11 days because we left one day and we came back, today, and it's technically 11-ish days or whatever. But we're back now, so we're resting, and I'm doing oy, another another random another magical rock to block my way. Anyways, and now I'm doing some commentary because I haven't done any commentary in like, well, 2 weeks. Yeah, I took some time to edit, this video, to edit um, another
This passage
couple
leads
more episodes after
All
this,
clear, you say?
and
I'll carry it back.
but that's been about it.
With this
I
radio,
haven't actually.
the merchants
This will be
can
my
come.
first,
'Tis a fine thing for
commentary
sellers and buyers alike
in
having trade on the
in a
rise.
very long while, and just itching to do it. And I'm actually hoping that, in addition to getting through this particular episode, I'll actually move directly onto another couple more episodes. We'll get through, the whole. We'll get through the whole thing, the whole trip, kind of going over just what went on during this crazy family trip. As we celebrated Christmas, because I mean, New Year's is like 2 days from now, and so I won't be doing any commentary then. We've actually got a couple friends traveling to us to hang out and, possibly party. I mean, come on, we're old, we don't go out and party very much anymore, especially after this past week. Holy cow, we oh my gosh, just lots of late nights slash. Whee! Sorry, I love that. I love that whirlwind slash just for that reason. And yes, I say that almost every single time. And I'll probably continue to say it almost every single time because it's just so cool. Come on, you're knocking your enemy, you're like chucking them into the air because you're just that strong. I mean, really, you're not even using a fulcrum or anything. You're just lifting. Wait, what? Oh, right. there was another griffin, and you know what? I just wasn't up for it, and clearly that griffin wasn't up for it either because it never showed up, or it never came down. It just was like, "Hi, I'm in the sky." I caused some of the intense music to happen, but no, I'm really not gonna land. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about me coming down. It's like, oh well, thank God, because I really didn't want to have to deal with that. So yeah. Anyways, hopefully I'm gonna pound through a couple of these videos because really this is really I was kind of jonesing to get some videos done and get some videos up to the internet. 'Cause for any of you viewers who are still watching these, you know, having a 2 week break like that, you guys are incredibly patient and fantastic for being willing to wait or put up with this long delay. And oh yeah, I'm kind of currently looking at where that ancient quarry could lead, and I'm realizing that's probably a bit of a shortcut perhaps to get to the southern part of the map, which honestly would be great, but I didn't ever go to the southern part of it, so I don't have it on my map right now. It's just this it's just this vague blank area. So in any case, it looks like we're almost up for this episode. So most likely next episode is actually I know that next episode we're gonna turn in these couple of quests we've done. You know, Sir Mercedes quest. We're gonna go update Aldous on Salamit's, you know, the fact that he ran away, and we'll update him on that. And we'll continue discussing my holiday trip. And thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. And I will see all of you next time.